Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the stock market. These are the S&P 500 futures. We're going to look at the weekly chart, the daily chart, and the trade of the day. Now, this is the weekly candlestick right here. You can see it's got that look to it, doesn't it? Weekly chart. Now, what am I talking about when I say that look? You should be able to look at a candlestick and many times be able to tell the nature of something in the market just based on the candlestick itself and where it lies within a certain trend. Okay, so this you should know the name, even know the names of the candlesticks, because each of these candlesticks, a lot of them anyway, have a specific name associated with them. And this one, for instance, we don't know for sure just yet until next week or the next couple weeks, but it looks like it's an evening star, and it kind of has that evening star look to it. Now this week is not over yet because today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, and we'll have to see what next week's candlestick does. But so far, just the nature of this candlestick tells me that this looks very toppish. Got a very toppish feel to it, and I've been saying that we've got divergence going on here on the stochastic momentum index, and I mean, clearly it's here. Right, that's what these dots mean. Divergence. I had one of the YouTube followers who watches the channel. They're not a member, but they do watch my YouTube videos. They ask, are the divergence dots a second derivative? Second derivative. So a lot of people don't know what that is. They don't know calculus, and that's okay. I'll give it to you. I'll try to give it to you basic. A derivative is the basically the measurement of the rate of change of something. Okay, the rate of change. How quickly does something change? And that's measurable. In calculus, we can measure that. It's called a derivative. Well, second derivative would just simply be measuring the rate of change of the rate of change. Yeah, I know it can sound confusing, but that's what the second derivative is. Anyway, in a nutshell, no. This to answer the question, that was in the YouTube video. No, the divergence dots are not based on a second derivative. I'm not going to dive into what they're based on, but no, they're not a second derivative. It's a little bit more basic than that. You can think of kind of Euler's method, where it's more real, dealing with real math, not theoretical. In any case, it's not based on Euler's either. I'm just kind of stating that this is not a derivative. Okay, that's not what this is based on. All right, so in any case, on the weekly chart here, this looks very toppy at the moment. Like I said, we'll see what happens next week, but this is looking toppy. Now here's August 13th cycle low on the weekly chart. Remember, we're talking about the weekly chart. So that's this little blue cycle right here. This guy. X marks the spot. All right. And yesterday, when we ran the video here yesterday, the MACD on the weekly was 137, which is very elevated. And even 135 is still very elevated. So it's come down just a little bit today. And the market still looks like it's very vulnerable to a pullback on the weekly. All right, so let's look at the daily chart. Oh, well, one more thing I want to talk about here on the weekly chart. I sent out an email to my members last night, and I said if the market gets above 46.31, substantially above it, not just a little bit above it, but if it gets substantially above it, then all-time highs, which is this 48.08 line up here. So this is resistance, right? That's where this is pulled from. These are just natural resistance points. Yeah, you can see it's easy to know where the natural resistance points are at the top. They're at peaks. See them? See that? They're just natural resistance points. They're not hard to figure out. So, and sure enough, the markets came right up. Look at this one. It came up to 45.09, which was kind of an intermediate resistance. I put it in there as this one right here. And sure enough, it sat there for like a few weeks, right? See how it sat below it and just like kept hitting up against it and then pulling back and not able to break through. Well, it finally broke through over the last 2 or 3 weeks, right? So if by some chance, which it could still happen, though I'm inclined to think it's less likely now, but if it starts getting up here, let's say next week, and really kind of breaks out and gets up into this area, then all bets are off. Forecast is going to completely change, and this number is definitely reachable if that happens. Right now, based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to lean towards no. I think we're going this way. Okay. But we're not there yet. We're not out, it doesn't matter to me, trade long, trade short. I trade futures. I'll take it either way. I don't care. But that's kind of I just wanted to bring this in, the 48.08. If we get above it, up into this area a little bit, even like, just like a quarter or a third of the way up into this zone, then all-time highs are very obtainable. Because once there's blood in the water, okay, the sharks will feed. That's just the way it works. If it gets above this and it gets momentum, this thing could take off. Right now, the market looks weak. But don't count this out just yet because it could happen. This candlestick says market looks weak. We're going to see a pullback. August 13th says we're going to see a pullback. All right, let's go to the daily. All right, so here we are on the daily chart. You'll see today it got up to 46.34. So sure enough, it hit this 46.31 resistance, got rejected, right? I mean, if it's a few points above, that doesn't really count, right? It's not really a true breakout, right? Anything in this area, if it stays within like 8 to 10 points and gets rejected, that's basically rejection. It's hitting resistance at the 46.31 line that we pulled off the weekly chart, okay? So today it got thoroughly rejected. That doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, but it got thoroughly rejected. Right, and I was talking to my members today on the Discord server because that's where all the services take place for the paying members on the Discord server. Which, by the way, if you're interested in becoming a member, just click on the link in the YouTube video. It'll be the top comment in the YouTube video. There's a link in there. Make sure you read the whole comment so that if you want to join, you got to follow the instructions on how to join. Okay. But anyway, I was talking to him and I said today is a big tell. And why do I say that? Look at the range here, 80.75. Look at all these other days, all of them. Even this whole entire block right here. Everything here except for today, going back almost like, a week and a half or 2 weeks for the trading. None of them were greater than 50, 42. Here's one that was 49.75. All of them were less than 50. A lot of 30s. 29, that one's 32, that one's 28, 37. You get it? I've been telling my members we're just operating in really churning upward slowly with small range days. That's very common when you're in a bullish market. Okay, very common. So what happened today? We get an 80 range day. That's a big tell. That's very telling. Okay, plus you look at the volume. The volume spiked here. It's some of the highest volume we've had in more than a month. All the way back to like June 12th. So it's been like a month and a half. This is the highest volume day we've had in a month and a half. That's very telling. The range is 80.75, which is more than double than all these days for the last week and a half. Okay, so this one candlestick tells us a lot. We got divergence going on right here, and you can clearly see the SMI is pointing down, right? The MACD maybe is hinting at beginning to roll over. All right, AC kicked on because we're still hot in here in Texas. We still got 100-degree days here in late July in Texas. So if you're hearing the AC in the background, don't sweat it. All right, so what I'm basically saying here on the daily chart is today's a big tell. I believe we're heading for a pullback. We'll see how deep it goes. August 13th is here on the daily chart. There's also August 21st. There's a lot of cycle lows in this second and third week of August kind of showing up in this area. I think this little green one's August 10th, the purple one's August 13th, the yellow one's August 21st. They're all coming into play right in this area. So to me, there's a lot of downward pressure, a lot of cycle lows, small ones, medium ones, big ones, all kind of happen at the same time here. And it's beginning to show up on the SMI. Divergence is there. The MACD hasn't really shown it yet, but I think it's going to show it. We'll just see how far down this comes. It may only come down to this 4503, you know. It may just kind of come down in here and that's it. It may not come down that far. I'm inclined to think it's going to go a little bit deeper than that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For right now, I think we're still in this choppy rectangle with the kind of I'm going to say it's favoring towards consolidation plus, I've been saying to my members, and I'm going to continue to say it, plus pullbacks mixed in. And I do think now, based on what I'm seeing here, we could get below this 4509 line. So I don't know when it's going to happen because the market rarely just moves in one direction continuously. But whatever, I'm just going to draw, kind of something like this, right? I think we could break below this 4509 and get down into this other, down into this area, maybe down in here somewhere. All right. Not sure how deep we'll go. Market's been very strong all the way since March, right? Just been strong all the way through spring and March. Been blast off. All right, but I think we're due for a little bit of a pullback here, and we'll just let it run its course. I'll let it do its thing, right? Okay, let's look at the trade of the day. And stick around, I'm going to talk about copper too real quick, and just briefly mention something coming up in copper. All right, here we are on the 5-minute chart for the trade of the day. This one's easy peasy. It happened at 9:25, right there on the Giddus Plus indicator. Okay, somewhere right around in this area right here. Okay, and yeah, there wasn't really much to figure out here. This is pretty simple. It comes up into here, rolls over, you take it short. It goes short. You could get out if you want to. It's fine. It starts going long. You just wait it out. Then we had another great trade of the day at 11:55, just before noon. This will be Texas time. These alerts, this Giddus indicator. These alerts, this Giddus Plus indicator, whenever you see these on the streaming charts for the members, also goes to the Discord server for the members. But another one happened here, 11:55. Boom. It rolls over. This time it's accompanied by divergence dots. And, I don't really put a lot of credence into the divergence dots on the 5-minute chart. But the 1-hour chart, a couple members were looking at the 1-hour chart today, the streaming chart that I have set up for them, and it really had some really nice divergence dots, showed up right on time. And there's some cycle lows that I put on the 1-hour chart that just were absolutely dead on perfect. But I'm not going to show that. It's all for members only. But in any case, this was really good. 2 trades of the day. This one right here, 11:55, was the moneymaker for sure, and it was just bombs away. As soon as this MACD crossed over, that's it. And if you've been paying attention at all to the daily chart, the weekly and daily chart that I do videos every day on, it was almost a no-brainer. You could see that the SMI was beginning to roll over. There's divergence on the daily chart. I've been telling the members in emails every night, hey, we're in a consolidation phase with pullbacks mixed in. Well, there you go. Okay, today was to me, was a no-brainer. This absolutely was an easy trade to make. Both of these trades were money makers today. Okay, let's take a quick look at copper and I'll finish up the video. All right, so here we are looking at copper. I don't usually share this with the public. I only share other products and other things with the membership, but I'm just going to put it out there. I rarely do this for the public for free, but I'll do it for this one for now. This is this cycle right here is coming to an end, and a new one's going to begin right here. Right here is August 1st, the beginning of a new cycle. I'll just put 8/1. Okay. August, the month, and the day, because my European friends have it switched, but just for those that are watching from overseas, just know this is August 1st, yeah. And I think copper's going to pull back down into this for the next, today's the 27th, we've got a weekend coming up. I think August 1st is on Tuesday, so I expect copper to find its bottom right around the 1st of the month, and then I think we're going to see it take off. All right, so just real quick, a lot of people are not familiar with cycle analysis, and that's fine. I'm not even going to dive into it, what that really is. I'm just going to talk about observation. What do we observe? Price decline down into where these two cycles come together. See that? Price decline Price comes up, tracks sideways, and what happens in the middle of this? Right in the middle of this cycle, price comes down. In this case, the price came back up, all the way back down. Again, where the two cycles meet, the copper declined. Okay, copper kind of tracked sideways here, went up a little bit, kind of just tracked sideways. What happened right in the middle of the cycle? Bam, big price decline. From there, down again. Now we have to, it's important to understand what's going on in the larger time frame, to look at things over a long period of time. During this whole time, the MACD was weak, right? Most of the MACD is happening below the zero line. You see that? This is the zero line, this purple line right here. So most of the MACD, which is momentum, is below the zero line, right? It's on this side below the zero line. It's important because you can see price just keeps coming down, right? Okay, then the MACD does a rollover, but it's still way negative down here in negative territory. Okay, it goes up. What happens right in the middle of the cycle? Sure enough, has a little stall, just a little pullback. It's important to understand the nature of a thing, yeah? And it takes off again. This is a very bullish cycle, by the way. And then it pulls back, what? All the way down into the cycle low again. Are you seeing a pattern here? Okay, then the MACD gets above. Now since about middle of June, copper's been in positive territory most of the time on the MACD. That's a change in behavior. Okay, so then the copper comes way up in the middle of the cycle. What does it do? It comes down. Now you could draw some smaller cycles in here. I just don't have them drawn, but you could put them in there if you want. Okay, it comes back up. Now what do you think it's going to do? I mean, the probability is really high, right? Because even though the nature of the market for copper has changed, it's gone positive momentum, and you have to heed that. The pullbacks may not be as deep if you're in positive momentum. Okay, but you still might get pullbacks, or at bare minimum, you get a price stall. The price will just kind of stall and track sideways. But copper's been extremely reliable cycle-wise for months on end, just for months on end. Okay, so right now at the moment, there's no reason for me to doubt that this cycle low on August 1st is going to happen, and then price is going to rebound and start to take off. Okay, that's my whole point. Okay. For members who are joining the service, who may already be members, or if you're going to join and become a member, don't be lazy. Study cycle analysis. Study candlesticks. What's that candlestick called? What's this candlestick, these two candlesticks down here called? Study the candlesticks. Study cycle analysis. Study simple moving averages. Okay? Understand the MACD. Of course, if you're a member, take advantage of the Get Us Plus indicator on the S&P 500 charts that stream. But you never stop learning. Okay, you got to go. I'm just going to finish the video up with this. You have to. It's wise to go with what is reliable over and over again, and to cast out or throw away and get rid of garbage that's just holding you up. Don't spend your time chasing your tail, garbage that doesn't pay. If it's not reliable, get rid of it. In other words, whatever analysis you're doing out there that everybody does in the financial markets and stock markets and whatever you're trading, if it's not consistently reliable and repeatable, you need to toss it, because it's just distracting you. Okay? I just showed you a methodology with cycle analysis, candlesticks, Get Us Plus indicator, and a whole lot more that's extremely reliable, right? Over and over again. I happen to pick a product that's very cyclical. Okay? But, all right. So anyway, I think you got the point. Again, if you want to join, click the link in the first comment of the video. Come and join the Discord server. Make sure you read the instructions in the comments so you know how to join. That's it for now. Happy trading, everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.